Assalamu alaikum. Dear students, today I am here with the part 7 of Geography chapter number 5, Industries. In the previous lecture, we had discussed distribution of major industries, and we also started iron and steel industry. Steel, it is tough, it can be easily shaped, cut or made into wire, and even adding certain other elements make steel harder, tougher, and rust retention capability. Students, steel is often called the backbone of modern industry. Almost everything we use is either made of iron or steel or has been made with tools and machinery of these metals. In our daily life, everything we are using, it is either made of iron or steel, or even it is made up of with the tools and machinery of this metal. Ships, trains, trucks and autos are made largely of steel. Ships, train, trucks, autos, all these vehicles are largely made up of steel. Even the safety pins and the needles we are using made from steel. From tiny object to large object, everything we are using in our daily life, either it is made up of steel or iron. For example, safety pin, large thing, tiny thing, needles, the small thing we are using. On the other hand, large machines, ships, all these objects are made with the use of steel and iron. That's why steel industry is often called the backbone of modern industry. Because we use lot of steel object in our daily life. Even we are using machines, tools for different purposes. So all these objects are made up of steel and iron. So here the question is, why steel industry is called backbone of modern industry? This is so because it is a feeder industry, feeder supporting industry. It is a feeder industry whose products are used as raw material for other industries. why steel industry is called backbone of modern industry? Because it is a feeder industry, supporting industry whose products are used as raw material in other industry. That's why steel industry is called backbone of modern industry. Oil wells are drilled with a steel machinery, steel pipeline transport oil. When oil is extracted from the oil well, they use steel machinery for drilling purpose, for extracting purpose. After extraction of oil, they use steel pipeline to transport the oil from oil well to oil refinery. Minerals are mined with steel equipment. Different minerals, when they are mined, when they are extracting mineral from the mines, they use steel machinery, steel tool, steel equipment for the purpose of extraction of mineral. Farm machines are mostly steel. In agriculture, different machines are used by the farmer for different purposes. All these machines, all these tools made with the use of iron and steel. Large buildings have steel framework. For the construction of buildings, large buildings, for the construction of the houses, we are using iron and steel. So in our daily life, we are using different objects which are made with the iron and steel. That's why we can call steel industry as a backbone of modern industry. For the extraction of mineral, for the transportation purpose, for the extraction of oil, for agriculture purpose, for construction of building, we generally using tools, machine and equipment which are made with the use of iron and steel. So that's why steel industry is called backbone of modern industry. Before 1800 AD, iron and steel industry was located where raw materials, power supply and running water were easily available. Now we are going to discuss where steel industries are located. So before 1800 AD, steel industry was located where raw material, power supply and running water were easily available. These were the factors responsible for the location of steel industry before 1800. Raw material, power supply and running water, these three were the factors affecting the location of industry before 1800 AD. Later, the ideal location for industry was near coal fields and close to canal and railway. After 1800 AD, the best location for steel industry was near to coal field and close to canal and railway. After 1800, steel industry was located near to coal field, canal and railway. These are the factors. After 1950, iron and steel industry began to be located on large area of flat land near seaport. But after 1950, steel industry began to be located on large area of flat land near seaport. This is because by this time steel work had become very large and iron ore had to be imported from overseas. Here you may have the question, at different time, the location of industry, steel industry, why change? So before 1800, steel industry was located where raw material, power supply and running water easily available. After 1800, steel industry began to be located near to coal field, canal and railway. But after 1950, steel industry began to be located on large area of flat land near seaport. Why? What's the reason behind this? Because after 1950, steel work had become very large. Earlier, tiny equipment, medium machines, medium tools were produced by steel industry. But with the advancement of technology, after 1950, steel industry began to be located on large area of flat land near seaport, because by this time steel work had become very large. Means steel industry start to produce large equipment, large machine, large tools, and even near to the seaport. The reason is that iron ore had to be imported from overseas. In our country, iron ore mines are there, but India exporting iron ore from other countries, India importing iron ore from other countries of the world. So, iron and steel, heavy and bulky. Iron is very heavy and bulky. That's why when iron imported from other country, so it is imported via sea route, by the use of sea route. So that's why after 1950, most iron and steel industry began to be located near to seaport on the large area of flat land. Two reasons are there. One is that by this time iron and steel industry, they start to produce large machinery, large equipment, large tools. Means steel work had become very large. And the second reason is that iron ore had to be imported from other countries of the world. In India, iron and steel industry has developed, taking advantage of raw material, cheap labor, transport and market. In our country, iron and steel industry developed because of advantage of raw material, cheap labor is available, good transport facility and good market for iron and steel object. All the important steel producing centers such as Bhilai, Durgapur, Banpur, Jamshedpur, Rourkela, Bokaro are situated in the region that spread over 4 states: West Bengal, Jharkhand, Orissa and Chhattisgarh. All the important iron steel producing centers of our country are located into the region of Durgapur, Bhilai, Banpur, Jamshedpur, Rourkela, Bokaro, and these regions are spreading over 4 states: West Bengal, Jharkhand, Orissa and Chhattisgarh. In this region, iron ore mines are there. So because of it, all important iron centers are spreading into these 4 states: West Bengal, Jharkhand, Orissa and Chhattisgarh. Even some other iron and steel producing centers are Bhadravati and Vijayanagar in Karnataka, Visakhapatnam in Andhra Pradesh, Salem in Tamil Nadu. These are other important steel centers utilizing local resources for the production of iron and steel objects. With this, I would like to conclude my today's lecture. Inshallah, we will meet again. Thank you very much for your cooperation. Allah Hafiz.